So, let's just get straight into it. Here's all my physical games, and I'm going to show you what digital games I have afterwards. The first game I'm actually currently playing is Tokiden Kiwami. This is basically, I believe, a remaster of Tokiden, which I believe was on PlayStation 3. I might be wrong. It might have been a Vita game. I'm not too sure. From what I've played about half an hour of it already, and it's a Koei Tecmo Omega Force game, which is why I need it in the collection. As you know, I'm going for a full Omega Force collection. It's not really like Dynasty Warriors or anything. If anything, this game is more like Monster Hunter. So if you're a fan of Monster Hunter or that sort of style of game, definitely check it out. It's a JRPG. Of course, and it is actually pretty solid. It's not as good as Monster Hunter from what I could imagine, but it's pretty solid game from what I'm enjoying what I've played so far. How much time I'm going to put into it, I don't know. But for what it is, there's a lot of replay value, lots of things to go back and collect, and lots of different weapons and stuff. Traditional RPG stuff, but very similar to Monster Hunter. Then we have a sealed copy at the moment, 88 Heroes. This is another reason I love the PlayStation 4, not only because it has a bunch of these Japanese games and stuff. I've actually went on Amazon and had a look at what sort of Japanese games are available, and there's a bunch of them coming out, even if they are sort of like story-driven JRPGs or you know, sort of like visual novels, those sort of things. I would like to have those sort of things in the collection because they're really unique games, stuff that you're not really going to find in stores. And then you've got a bunch of these indie games and smaller game companies putting out physical versions of digital and indie games. And this is called 88 Heroes. From what I can tell, it's sort of like a party game almost. Well, I wouldn't really say a party game. It's more... looks like sort of like a one of these sort of fast-paced games and stuff. I haven't played it yet, so I don't really know much about it. Then here's another fine example of an indie title, Slain, Back from Hell. I'm not sure if I played a little bit of this. It's very similar to, say, Castlevania, the old Castlevania game, sort of similar to Symphony of the Night. It's a Metroidvania style game. It's got a little sheet here, get the soundtrack online. Now, like I said, there's a bunch of these indie titles. There are limited run games. These aren't the ones that are limited run, but in the future, these sort of games are going to be the harder ones to find. So even if you're not a fan of the actual game, if you're a collector like me, definitely pick something like this up because you don't know how much they're going to be worth and how hard they are to find in the future. Luckily, this one isn't too expensive, but I haven't seen it since. Here's another one, Dino Deaky's Kickoff Revival. I don't really get sports games that much for PS4 because I wouldn't play them, but here's a fine example of a more indie title. I believe this was originally on the Mega Drive. I might be wrong. I'm sure it was a Sega game. I'm not sure. It was on older system. Might have been Super Nintendo. I'm not too sure. It's a sports title, but something a little bit different, and I've never seen it before. That's why I got it. Then we have the Samurai Warriors 4. This was the first Samurai Warriors 4 game in the series. I love the Samurai Warriors series. I love the Warriors series. And I love that Samurai Warriors 4 sort of changed it up a bit, made it a much faster paced game. And I think I have played this one. I don't know if I completed it or not, but there's a lot of characters and... replay value, traditional stuff with the Warriors series. Then we have Samurai Warriors 4 2. This is a continuation of Samurai Warriors 4. A bunch of new modes, a bunch of new characters, similar stuff, and you know how the Warriors games are when it comes to re-releasing or bringing out a new version of an older game and with more DLC and stuff like that. Yeah, Koei are a little bit like money grab like that, but hey, if you enjoy the series, what's wrong with that? And then the final one in the Samurai Warriors 4 series, Samurai Warriors 4 Empires. I finished this not too long ago. Haven't got all of the achievements yet. I've nearly got them all, but I put a lot of time into this, nearly 50 hours worth of game time into this. Really enjoyed this one. Loved that it went back to the sort of old school style of the Empires. Didn't really overcomplicate things. Pretty solid and easy to understand. From my knowledge, there is another Samurai Warriors 4 game coming out, DX, which is, I think, Samurai Warriors 4 with 4.2 and all of the DLC included, kind of like the Extreme Edition. But from what I can tell, I don't know if it's getting a Western release. I know it's coming out in Japan, so I might have to pick that one up. And there's talk about 5 coming out soon. Then we have Lichdom Battle Mage, another example of a multi-platform title. This is also on the Xbox One. From what I know, it's a first-person RPG that sort of is all based around magic. So if you're a fan of like spells and stuff and magic, definitely check this one out. I haven't played it yet, but I don't really know too much about it. Then we have God of War. Yes, I haven't played this yet myself, but I did watch a walkthrough. I remember watching Nova play it. What can be said about this game? It really sort of took it in a new direction. Some people didn't really like that they changed the gameplay, but it definitely got the story right and RPG elements, and overall, it deserved a Game of the Year. So it wouldn't surprise me if we get a Game of the Year edition perhaps soon, with some bonus content and stuff. But I don't even know if this game got DLC or not, but still a very solid exclusive, a fine example of PlayStation at their finest. Then we got another Koei Tecmo game. I don't know if this is Omega Force. No, it's Gust. Koei Tecmo formed off of 6 individual companies working under one sort of thing, and this is a JRPG. The world or my friend, I will decide their fate. Yeah, it's a JRPG. Don't really know much about it, but it's made by Koei Tecmo, so another example of another Japanese title. Then we got Drive Club, which I believe this was an early or a launch title for the PlayStation 4. It's the only racing game that I own for the PlayStation 4. Then we got Final Fantasy 12, the Zodiac Age. That if you're a fan of Final Fantasy, definitely the PS4 is definitely for you, because a lot of the Final Fantasy games have been remastered and or remade or remastered for the PlayStation 4, and this was the originally on the PlayStation 2. So I still haven't played a Final Fantasy game yet, but perhaps one day I'll give it a go. Then we got the Elder Scrolls Online, another example of a game I had on Xbox One. I played a little bit of it, couldn't really get into it, but I thought I'd get it on PS4 to perhaps give it another go. I know now it's got a bunch of new content, updates and good stuff like that, DLC. I was going to play this today, but unfortunately I had a 70 gig update and my internet at the moment is still pretty shit. But the good news is, getting Virgin Media on Thursday, so not only am I getting a better TV deal and a better deal in terms of bills, I'm getting better internet, so I'm really looking forward to Thursday, and then perhaps I'll install this on Thursday and play it then again. I finished this yesterday, Injustice Gods Among Us, the Ultimate Edition. All I'm going to say about this game is that it's not a remake in any way. It's still the original game. They haven't really updated the graphics or anything, but I'm glad they brought it out on PS4, so here's a fighting game that I own. I really like this game, actually. It's probably one of my favourite in terms of fighting games that I've played in a long time. Originally played it on the Xbox 360, but it does come with all the DLC included on the disc. Lots of different modes to do, lots of characters to play as. You can complete the story in one day. It's only about a 4 or 5 hour long story. I finished the story yesterday. I've kept it installed on my PlayStation, so I've got a fighting game to come back to if I want to play one, but I enjoyed that game. Need to get the second one. And we got the Pinball Arcade. This is regionally a free game. You can download this for free, but this one comes with 22 pinball tables, because how these work, there's a bunch of pinball games on PS4, Xbox One, PC, that sort of thing, that are free. You just have to buy the individual tables or buy them as a package, but this one comes with 22 pinball tables, and yeah, it's a pretty solid pinball game. Nothing really more to say than other than it's pinball. Some of the tables are a bit unfair in my opinion. Some of them are pretty solid, but you get a nice selection of classic pinball tables on here. Then we got Star Ocean, Integrity and Faithlessness, another JRPG created by Square Enix. Again, Square Enix, very well known to the JRPG fans. Of course, Final Fantasy, very famous game. Star Ocean is a series. There's about 5 or 6 Star Ocean games, you know, on all sorts of different consoles. Never played any Star Ocean game, so I don't really know if they're any good or not, but from what I hear, they're pretty solid. Then we have a Japanese import here. This is Gundam Breaker 3. I believe this is a Japanese game originally. It says region 3 there, so I'm guessing it is, or Chinese. Yeah, Japanese. I'm not sure if the text is in English though, so if it isn't, I won't be able to play it. But from what I can tell, it's a fighting game or something. I like the Gundam series, but it's cool that I own a Japanese game. Like I said, the PlayStation 4 is region 3 though, so you can play any PlayStation 4 game. I believe so is Xbox One and Nintendo Switch, so very, very happy that the new consoles are region 3, so you can get imports and things. Then we got Tokuden 2. I think I've played the demo of this actually. This one's a lot different to the first one. Still the same sort of game. Lots of characters to play as and unlock and things like that. Another sort of JRPG by Koei Tecmo. Then we got the deluxe edition of Assassin's Creed Origins, the only Assassin's Creed game I have on PS4. Haven't played it yet, but I hear it's a really good game. I waited for this one to get it for a good price, and I'm glad I did. Then we got Road Trooper Redux, another remake or remaster of a classic PlayStation 2 game. I hear this game is really good in the story department and the gameplay is pretty fun as well. So looking forward to giving this one a go. Then we got Dynasty Warriors 9, of course, one of my favourite series of all time. I hear this game didn't live up to the expectations, but from what I hear, now that they've updated it and things, it's one of those games you either love or hate with the Warriors series. Then we got Armageddon, Decks of Destiny. This is a real-time strategy / card building game, so definitely want to be checking that one out. But this is Maximum Games are one of these sort of AA developers where they produce physical versions for smaller games. Then we got Horizon Zero Dawn, another fine example of a great single-player exclusive. And that's what I love about the PS4. There's so many good exclusives, whether they are third-party exclusives or like Sony-branded exclusives. Then we got Dissidia, Final Fantasy NT. I weren't a big fan of this game. It's basically originally was started on the PlayStation Portable, and it's a fighting game with Final Fantasy characters. Unfortunately, it's not like traditional 3D fighters like Jump Force or what the Dragon Ball Z fighting games. It's more like strategic and things, so I couldn't really get into it, but maybe one day I'll give it another go. Then we got the Order 1886. Did a review on this not too long ago. I enjoyed this game for what it was. Definitely worth checking out if you like sort of story-driven games. And yeah, I enjoyed it for what it was. And then last but not least, we have Senran Kagura Estival Versus. If you don't know what Senran Kagura is, it's probably one of the most... yeah, it's a very risque Japanese anime / manga, and there's a bunch of these games. This one's sort of more like a fighting game, similar to like the Dragon Ball Z fighting games or Jump Force. Unfortunately, yes, it is all based around, you know, well, what can you say there? Unfortunately, it's not that great. It's all right, but I got to a point. I played it for a couple of days, and then I got to a point where, you know, the controls just seem a little bit. Sometimes it just seems a bit unfair, like when you're fighting against people, and then it just seems slow. But it is what it is. But there's a bunch of Senran and Kagura games, and now we're going to switch over to the digital games. Like I said, I have about 50 or so digital games, maybe more, maybe less. I just installed one. These ones with the little symbol next to them are PlayStation Now games. I will be getting PlayStation Now back when I get the new internet, so hopefully the new internet will be able to stream the games no problem. If not, the internet box is going to be up here anyway, so I will be able to put in a connection. This is a new free-to-play game I've just come across today. Big City Stories. I think it's a town building game. It's a free-to-play game. I haven't played it yet, but I've seen it was a new one that I haven't played before, so I downloaded it. Then we got Atom Universe, another sort of free-to-play social game, so similar to like IMBW or something like that. Haven't played it yet, but it was free. Brawlhalla, this is a pretty fun sort of, this is actually a pretty fun, sort of like Smash Bros style game, you know, those sort of fighting games. It's really fun, free to play, worth checking out if you like those sort of games. God of War 3 remastered. Haven't played God of War 3 yet, so but I know it's a pretty fun game. Knights of Valor, this is another free-to-play game. It's basically, it's almost like a mobile game, one could say. It's sort of like a beat-em-up, an old-school beat-em-up style game. Let It Die, another free-to-play game. It's interesting. I don't really know what to say about it. Minefield, what can you say about Minefield? Nebula Realms, another sort of social game, I believe. And then I have Yakuza 0. I've started this game. I'm about a quarter into it. Really enjoyed the Yakuza Kiwami. We'll have to come back and continue on with 0. Really great series, worth checking out. I have 78 digital games here. So we have 2064 Read Only Memories. I believe this is a visual novel from what I can see. Another World, this was originally, I believe, a Super Nintendo game. It's an old school sort of adventure platforming game. Armored Warfare, this is a tank online game. Didn't really much care for it. I'm not really great at those sort of games. Beyond Two Souls, another sort of Quantic Dreams game. A very cinematic experience with sort of quick time events and stuff. Not really much of a game, more of an interactive movie, one could say. Blacklight Retribution, I don't know if people are still playing this, but this was one of the early online games back in the day. Bloodborne, what can be said about Bloodborne other than it's one of the best PS4 exclusives? Haven't played it myself, but it's very similar to Dark Souls. Oh, sorry. Bombing Brothers, don't really know much about it. I don't really know much about it, so I think it's a party game. Bulletstorm, full clip edition. I think I did a review of this. Really fun first-person shooter. Worth checking out. Fast-paced and action. Burning Man at Sea. I have no clue what that game is, but I'm guessing it's sort of like a story-driven game. Call of Duty Black Ops 3. Yeah, they gave this away for free a couple months ago. I remember. That's why I just got it. I don't really much care for Black Ops 3, but it was free, so I couldn't really say no. Claire, extended cut. I believe this is another sort of story-driven game. Then we have Dark Chronicle and Dark Cloud. Dark Chronicle is the sequel to Dark Cloud. These were PS2 games originally. Yes, you can get a bunch of, there's about 50 PS2 games that you can download from the PlayStation Store. Of course, with updated to 1080p, 60 frames per second, and of course, trophies and stuff. So I'm glad that PlayStation did do that. And with the PlayStation 5 being a fully backwards compatible, they're saying that might be my reason for getting one. And then we got Destiny 2. This was given away for free. Don't really much care for Destiny, but if I want to play some, I have it on here. Then we got Fallen Legion, Flames of Rebellion. I'm guessing it's another JRPG. Might be wrong. It could be a hack and slash, but I'm guessing it's sort of like a Fire Emblem. It looks kind of like Final Fantasy 9. Again, originally a PS1 game or PS2 game, might have been. Classic game there. For Honor, this was free this month. Got it on Xbox as well. Pretty solid online game. Have played a little bit of it, but it's one of those games you need to really practice. Fortnite, I mean, I've played a tiny bit of Fortnite. I don't really much care for it, but it's there if anyone wants to play it, I guess. Foul Play, I believe this was made by the same people who made Battle Block Theatre. Friday the 13th game. I believe this has actually got a single player mode now, so maybe I'll have to give it a go, being a big fan of classic horror. Of course, I had to get San Andreas. In my opinion, the best Grand Theft Auto of all time, with the exception of 5, but San Andreas is classic. Gundam Versus, this is a fighting game in the Gundam series. I was a bit pissed off. I paid like 50 quid for this game, and then it was on sale like the following week. Guns Up, another sort of this is sort of like a strategy tower defense game. H1Z1 Battle Royale, again another Battle Royale game, originally on the PC. Hatsune Miku Project Diva Future Tone, a rhythm game. It's quite challenging, so I played a tiny bit of it, but it's really challenging. Here They Lie, I'm guessing another adventure platformer perhaps, I'm not too sure. If you know anything about the games, I don't, let me know. Hitman, this was given away for free this month as well. Haven't played the new Hitman games. I'm not really good at them. I played a little bit of the PS2 ones. In Space We Brawl, I'm not too sure what that is. Invoker's Tournament, another free-to-play game, nothing special. King Oddball, I'm guessing it's sort of like a puzzle game. Knowledge of Power, part of the PlayLink games. These are like party trivia games that you can play, and then you can use your phone to as a controller, one could say. Laser League, I think this was given away for free. I think it's sort of like a futuristic sports game. Loadout, another game that was an early PlayStation 4 game. A lot of people remember playing this. It's an online game. It's okay. Mad Max, played a little bit of this on the Xbox One. It's a pretty solid game, but I need to go back and play it some more. Metal Slug Anthology, you get 7 Metal Slug games for the price of 1, you could say. Metal Slug is classic, very challenging games if you're trying to play through it without dying. It's very challenging, classic as it comes. Mighty Number 9, this was given away for free as well. This game was meant to be sort of like a Mega Man spin-off. Unfortunately, it bombed. Some people say it's not that bad, but not really a fan of Mega Man. Orcs Must Die Unchained. This is another free-to-play game. It's sort of like a tower defense style game. PlanetSide 2, closed beta 2 there. Portal Knights, this is kind of like a quest between, say, Dragon Quest Builders, Minecraft, and sort of like a Dungeon Defenders or something like that. Pot Snorer, I can't remember what sort of game that was. Ratchet and Clank, the reboot. This was actually a really solid game. I played this actually, and it's really solid. Love the Ratchet and Clank series. Cube Director's Cut, I believe this is a puzzle game. Cuba Reloaded, a classic game, was Cuba back in the day. Rayman Legends, the new Rayman games are really good. This was a really good platformer slash party game. Rocketburgs 2 Evolution is okay. It's sort of like a 2D side-scroller Metroidvania style game. Rogue Aces, this is free this month. I'm guessing it's sort of like a flight game. Sparkle 2, another puzzle game. Roundabout, this is a kind of an interesting one. You basically drive this car limo that's spinning around and you have to get from point A to point B. Steep, this is basically skate but on in the mountains, you could say. That's You, another PlayLink title. The Bridge, another classic indie title here. I think it's another sort of puzzle platformer. Trackmania Turbo, a really fun, fast-paced racing game where you can create all of these tracks and things. Lots of creativity in the community there. The Disney Afternoon Collection, I believe this comes with DuckTales, Darkwing Duck, Chip and Dale Rescue Rangers, and what's it called? Something Wing, not Top Wing. I forgot what the other one is, but it's just 4 classic NES games remastered. Transgalactic Tournament, another free-to-play sort of MOBA style game. Trials Fusion, of course, Trials is a really fun physics-based, you could call it a racing game. Lots of creativity in the community. Uncharted 4, Thief's End. Very, very good end to the series. Loved the Uncharted series. Absolutely loved the series. War Thunder. This is another tank/plane online game. XCOM 2 was given away for free. And Yakuza Kiwami. Absolutely loved this game. Loved the story. And I need to get the rest. So, there we go. That's the first part of my PlayStation, why I've gone to PlayStation 4. What do you think of my collection? Like I said, most of the games I'm getting are like the indie games, the Japanese games and stuff like that. But I'm glad that I started to really switch over to the PlayStation 4 now and enjoying getting all of these games. Sorry, I'm just going to quickly go downstairs and put the kettle on. I will be continuing this on perhaps later today, if not tomorrow, and I'll give you my reasons for the PlayStation 4 being possibly my favourite console at the moment. But if you guys enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like, and of course comment below. Let me know, are you an Xbox One guy or a PlayStation 4 guy, or girl, or transgender? I don't want to exclude anyone. But if you guys, and of course, feel free to subscribe if you haven't already. Let me know your favourite PlayStation 4 game. Are you going to get a PlayStation 5? Do you want it to be backwards compatible like they're saying? If it is, will you get rid of your old PlayStation consoles? And as always, guys, have a nice day. And I will see you in the next video. I'm just going to make my partner a cup of tea. And then I'm going to go and play some more Tokiden Kiwami. Tonight I'm watching the Prime Directives Meltdown Robocop series. Actually, really good, actually. And of course, guys, I will see you in the next video. Take care.